What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. As you can see, I'm with my Miata again, and I've been loving this car so much, and I know you guys obviously know that because I've stressed it on my Instagram and my social medias how much I've been enjoying driving this car. But loving this car, you know, I've been driving it consistently for about a week and a half now, and there are little things here and there that really have ticked me off finally. Kind of, you know, you break away from that little honeymoon stage when it comes to a car, and then you really kind of sit back and think about the things that are good and the things that are bad. Now, this isn't going to be like a typical, like, oh, the things that I hate and love about my Miata, just because the car is stock. There's like a lot of things that really haven't come out yet since I haven't started modifying it yet that I guess would kind of bother me. So this video is going to be you know, the worst things about the Mazda Miata, in my opinion, that I've noticed so far, and probably you guys might have something similar. So yeah, the worst things about the Mazda Miata, let's get into it. All right, guys, we're gonna start in the interior of this car. So, pretty simple, pretty basic, as you can see. Ignore my bagel bag, I'll put that back there for now. But number one is this right here, the cup holder. If any of you guys have a Miata, an NA Mazda Miata, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, this cup holder is a pain in the butt because, number one, it doesn't fit many different sizes of cups, bottles, and all that. Luckily, my Dunkin' actually fits in pretty well. But then, the problem is, since the cup holder's right here, I mean, it's in the path of your shifter. So, if you were to have two cups, one, you know, in each, it's literally almost impossible to really shift. Like, you're always going to be hitting your cup, and even when it's in the second hole here, I mean, still you're going to be hitting your cup every single time you shift. And then if you don't want to use the cup holder, which these do pop out, which is nice, you know, you just pop this out, you could just sit a drink in here as well, but then you're going to have it sliding back and forth. So it's either, you know, you deal with the terrible cup holder design that Mazda made, or you have no cup holder at all. So the first worst thing about this car 100% has to be this cup holder here. It's very impractical, and it's a pain in the butt. Alright, guys, so another thing that's really bad with this car, another worst thing about this Miata, if you look at the doors, many cars come with little pouches and little cubbies for you to put accessories, change, your wallet, keys, whatever you need to put right in the door here. This car has no, I mean, besides the little right here on the door where you could put maybe some change, possibly a couple of screws, but anyways, there's nothing, no storage, nothing like that. Even behind the seats, you know, a lot of two doors will have a pocket, but literally there's nothing. And because the car is so small, you can't even fit too many things behind your seat. So even back here in this area right here, you can't really fit anything because of how small the car is on the inside. And mind you, I'm like 5'7", so the fact that my driving position on my seat is like right there, I mean, there is maybe 3 inches of space, of clearance. So, I mean, it's really not that practical. And let me show you the trunk here. You're gonna see a lot of stuff back here. So, well, besides my, oh, drop my key, but besides my camera bag and all that stuff here, I have a jack, some jack stands, a little bit of oil, just in case. But there's not that much room here in the trunk either, especially if you have the spare tire. This takes up probably about a 30-year trunk right here. So you can't fit too much. This isn't a car that you want to go and take a road trip with, probably, unless you're, you know, traveling by yourself. But that's another thing. There is literally no storage in this car whatsoever. And it's very impractical if you're going to be taking things, bags, luggage, boxes. You really can't fit too much. I don't even know how much I was able to fit, or how I was able to fit so much in my trunk. But yeah, so that's another thing, that there's literally no storage space whatsoever. So another thing, guys, it doesn't apply to my personal Miata because I did, not to like toot my own horn, but I did pick up a very clean example of an NA Mazda Miata. But most of them you will see, and you'll see in pictures and people that are selling them, is right here. Now again, mine doesn't suffer from this, thank God, and I hope it never does, but the rockers on the Miatas rust so much. It's such a prone spot for them to get rust and rot, and you'll see a bunch of holes in the rockers when it comes to that stuff right here. So as you can see, mine is very clean, and they also suffer from here on the back here on these rear fenders that there'll be a lot of rot, rust, holes, and I'll show you both sides just so you can check that out. But mine is super clean, thank God. No surface rust anywhere on this car, which is fantastic. But I'll even brighten this up for you guys to see that there's nothing on here. But unfortunately, these cars, if you are looking for them and you're gonna buy one, you should definitely pay attention and see if it has the rust. I mean, if you don't mind and you're gonna fix it, or you just don't care, that's fine. But that's another really bad thing about this car, is that the rust sometimes is kind of unbearable, and they still sell for a decent amount even with rust. So the fact that I was able to find mine for the price I did with no rust, I really can't complain. Another thing is, now don't call me a hypocrite for it, because I know I mentioned that it wasn't a big deal to me, but this car is honestly crazy slow. Now, I knew that coming in, and I don't complain about it, but I know it's a very common complaint for people with these cars is how slow they are. Like, this thing is a slouch. It's a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder, so it's a very small displacement engine, and I mean, you get what you get. I think these things make like 120 horsepower and like 116 foot-pounds of torque. So it really doesn't have any get up and go. You put your foot down and the car really doesn't go anywhere. And that's something you got to keep in mind when you're going to buy one of these, because if you're looking for something that's going to be, you know, quick and fun, oh, I mean, this car is fun. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a fun car. But if you're looking for something that's going to put you in your seat, this is not the car for you. Now, it didn't matter to me because I am going to be turbocharging this car very soon, so it's going to be getting forced induction. I'll even show you the engine too, just so that you can see, you know, how small of a engine this car has. But I'm not even going to put the hood prop up, but it's a 1.6 liter tiny little displacement engine, so that's what you're dealing with. It's not going to make a lot of power. It's just, if you're looking to go fast, this is not the car to do it in. You're going to be disappointed. It is super fun to drive it, I promise you that, but it's not going to put you in your seat. It's not going to give you that like roller coaster stomach feeling that everybody loves when it comes to a fast car. So if that's what you're looking for, forget about it, because this car's not going to provide that for you. So I'm going to tie in two things together, and it's going to be with the fuel mileage and the oil. So as I said before in the previous clip, this car has a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine. Like I said, it's a very small displacement engine, and you would think that it would be getting really good fuel mileage, but to be honest, I drove this car not hard at all, like pretty nimble, very easy going, and on a full tank, I got like 238 miles or something like that. Yeah, it was like 238, about 240 miles on a full tank of gas. Now mind you, I think these have like a 11-gallon tank, something like that. They're not too big, but you would think out of such a small little displacement engine that maybe I could probably get like at least 300 out of it. So it's really not as fuel efficient as you would think. And you know, my Mini Cooper, which I do drive pretty hard, on a full tank of fully spirited driving, I could still get like 300 miles plus out of that tank. And then my wagon, I don't even want to, you know, talk about that. That's on its own level. But I really thought that this car was going to get really good fuel mileage when I got it, but it's really not that amazing. And another thing is the oil. I mentioned oil. I know most Mazdas are prone to this. Mine hasn't yet, I noticed, but I do it just in case because people recommended it. But when I did my oil change, I left a little bit of oil in the trunk because Miata owners that I know have told me that these cars like to burn some oil, and it's very typical, and they'll burn a lot. So I haven't noticed it on my car at all, but I just want to be on the safe side. So if yours is burning oil, keep some oil in your trunk in your car, because you're probably gonna need it. So that's another thing. And guys, the last thing that really, I guess, has gotten to me, and I'll come back to the interior, is just how outdated the car is. Now mind you, I know this is a car from 1990, so you're not buying this car to be luxurious and get all these, you know, different features and stuff that new cars have, but this is an old car, and when you're used to, you know, Bluetooth and, Really good sound systems from factory, nice interiors, big touchscreen LED screens, nice steering wheels, a lot of controls and whatnot. This is going to disappoint, especially if that's what you're used to and you want something like that, even though you can make changes and, you know, you can put like a new stereo system and all that stuff in here, new speakers, which I actually did. I did put a new head unit in the car to make it a little better. It's just a cheap little Boss head unit, which has Bluetooth, aux, has a USB port for charging your phone and whatnot. And I did put some new speakers in it. Well, I'm not going to pull off the panel right now, but I did put new speakers in the car as well because I needed it because they were very staticky. But I personally love the interior, but it is very outdated. Mind you, again, this is a 90s car. So just be aware that you are going to really notice it, especially if you're coming from a newer car of the year, or even a car that's like, you know, 9-10 years old that has like all these different features in it. You're gonna feel it. So this isn't my daily by any means. This is my fun car, but I guess it would be nice to have newer features just because you're used to them. But I'm not gonna really complain too much about it. But just to keep in mind, if you're gonna buy one, it's gonna be kind of crappy. So anyways, guys, that's gonna conclude the video. Now, I love this car. I've had so much fun driving it. Arguably, this is the most fun car that I've owned and driven. Now, mind you, I know it's slow, but just the driving experience that you get with this car, I really feel like it's hard to beat it. There's a lot of things that I love about it. I'm going to be making another video going over the best things about this car. Now, again, this car is 100% stock. There's nothing done to it, so this isn't like a what I hate about my Miata, because once I start getting into really modifying this car, I will make those two videos, the things that I love and hate about this car. This is more of just a general, like, kind of annoying, like, you know, why would Mazda do this kind of thing? But yeah, so by no means is this like a trashing a Miata car or anything like that, because this car is amazing. I love it. I just want you guys to know that there are some little annoying things about it. Let me know what you guys find like annoying, like the worst things about these cars. I would like to share, just talk about it. Obviously, like I said, I love these cars. I'm glad that I got into this new community and I'm having a lot of fun driving this car. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm just hating on it, because I'm not. This car's been fantastic to drive. And again, like I said, it's arguably been my favorite car to drive overall that I've owned. Like I said, probably the Mini still has an edge on it, just because, you know, that car is literally like my child. But again, this thing has been so much fun. I can't complain. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like I said, let me know in the comments if you guys find anything like super annoying about it and whatnot. It would be fun to discuss. So like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that I'm doing an okay job. And we will see you next time. Have a good day.